So lovely, good evening Zambia, good evening Africa, and warm welcome to the big hour debate right here on KBN TV from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. Me, Innocent P, you can simply call me IP. Now, Zambians have, in the last 6 months, debating or conversating around the constitutional making process, which is crafted as Bill number 7. As of late, we have seen different stakeholders coming on board, while others condemning, describing Bill 7 as poisonous, while others describing it as harmful. But of course, there is another group describing Bill 7 as progressive in the Republic of Zambia, which needs an urgent enactment before the National Assembly. As we speak today, the Selective Committee at the National Assembly is scrutinizing and collecting views from different stakeholders on the way forward, as the 15th of December will be the day on which Bill 7 will be before the floor of the House under debate for a second reading. This evening on the big hour debate on KBN TV, we've decided to summon various leaders from different institutions. We have in the studio the People's Alliance for Change President, Mr. Andford Maelebanda. We also have another leader coming from Zawapa, President, a man who has served in the Republic of Zambia as a member of parliament for some times now, but now he runs his own political party in Mr. Howard Kunda. Mr. Lakson Lungu represents the GEARS Initiative, an organization which has been around for quite some time in Zambia. We also have Mr. Mubita Anakoka coming from the ruling United Party for National Development, Upnd, representing Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa, who was supposed to be with us in the studio, but I should make mention to you that he sent me an apology within, or rather in the last 5 minutes, that he is engaged with other duties that, of course, with the president, of course, which is a national duty as well. But he has made an indication that he might join us along the way as the program commences. Welcome to the program to all of you, the viewers watching the program via our social media platform, the KBN TV Facebook page, and also our YouTube platform. We are live. GSTV channel 279, GoTV channel 27, also Top as Decoder channel 102. I am your host, Innocent P, as I didn't mention earlier on. You can simply call me IP. Good evening, gentlemen, and welcome to the program. Presidents, welcome to the program. President Banda Park, and also Zawapa President, Honorable Howard Kunda, the former Park chairperson. Welcome to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's good to be here. It has been long, having appeared on your show, but I'm sure we are here, and we are going to talk to whatever that concerns the nation. It is very important. And to the viewers there, I'm sure you will listen to us here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Banda. Welcome to the program, and good evening to you.
Good evening to you, IP. Good evening to the viewers out there. We are grateful as the People's Alliance for Change. As you may be aware, I'm not just here as PAC, but I'm also here representing We Are One Zambia Alliance, WOZA, which was launched on Friday. And we are very happy to be here to share our thoughts about this very pressing issue of the Constitution, Amendment Bill 7. And we urge the viewers out there to stay tuned so that they can hear what we have to offer.
Thank you so much, and pardon me for that omission. I know you did mention earlier on that you are also coming to represent WOZA.
WOZA, We Are One Zambia Alliance, yes.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
We also have Mr. Lungu. GEARS Initiative has been around, as I mentioned in my preamble, in the activism or governance of this country. Good evening to you.
Good evening, thank you, IP, and good evening to the viewers. Thank you so much for having, I thought it necessary to invite us from GEARS to be part of this very important debate, especially that we are also coming from a consortium of civil society organizations. So I'm happy to be here, and indeed looking forward to a very good debate.
Beautiful. Allow me to welcome the only current member of parliament. Someone has been ambushed. You've been ambushed, really. You are not supposed to be part of this program, but of course, you've decided to answer to the call by the people of Zambia to come and represent the minister who might join us along the way, Honorable Mubita Anakoka. Good evening to you and welcome.
Good evening, IP, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Indeed, when duty calls, we are on call 24/7. So once I received the call of Honorable Mweto not being in a position to join this very, very important engagement, I was glad to step into his very, very big shoes.
Right.
But because we are of one mind as UPND, I am sure that there is nothing I will say here that would be outside what he would have said, or vice versa. So thank you
so much
for the
I
opportunity.
I love that. You mentioned that you are of one mind. So we hope and pray that indeed you'll be able to represent him accordingly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. These are the guests I have in the studio discussing the constitutional making process in Zambia and also the state of democracy in our country. Let's begin with constitutionalism in our nation. We'll start with President Howard Kunda. You've been chairperson at Parliament. You've been, of course, speaking to different people. You've been under the constitutional making process in Zambia. We are back at it again. And my question to you would be, why do we need a new constitution as a nation? But before maybe you answer that question, it will be cardinal for me to make mention that you will be given 2 minutes to give your submission, just like everyone else will be speaking within the 2 minutes. However, you are allowed to give a point of interjection if you wish, but of course in a very cordial manner. We don't expect the bigger debate to be turned into a chaos, you know, or a boxing fight. I believe you are all intellectuals, and also the people of Zambia watching the program are maybe much more intelligent than me myself. I don't want to say including all of us in here. Maybe some of you may be more intelligent than the viewers. Yeah, but I would just say the viewers are more intelligent than me myself, who is a moderator. So therefore, any hiccup or any mistake or any form of confusion, they will be able to detect that. So let's ensure that we stick to time, and also we respect each other as well as the viewers watching the program. I hope that is clear.
Yeah, very clear, IP.
Very clear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why does Zambia require or urgently need a new constitution as it is now being discussed under the UPND administration?
Yeah, thank you very much, IP. I think that the Zambian people have been very clear when it comes to issues to do with the constitution. When they don't like it, they just say it. Just like they have said it now, that they don't want a constitution to be amended this time around. Possibly we can take it forward where it should be there for discussion, I think, after the elections, because everyone is preoccupied with the preparations for the elections, and we should not be talking about that document, which is supposed to be for the people. The people are the ones who are supposed to decide what is supposed to be in that constitution, and not what we have seen, where the government has been the ones dictating what should be in the constitution. So I think that these are realities, and we do not need to amend this constitution because it is sufficient. If we are talking about elections, we already have a document, and that document is what ushered in the government, the current government, So what has changed now? Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, President Howard Kunda there. Let's hear from, pardon me, Honorable Anakoka. I will allow you to speak last.
No problem.
Yeah, because you're coming from the ruling party, so it will be important for you to listen and collect all the submissions, and later on you respond. Let me hear from Mr. Lungu from Gears Initiative. Why does Zambia need a new constitution, and why should this process be as urgent as it should be?
Thank you so much, Epi, and thank you so much for allowing me to feature on the program with politicians. That is what's so impressive. Not only politicians, but youthful politicians.
Right.
So I'm very excited that I'm featuring on this program. Now, talking about the constitution making, there's one point that we have to all agree. The one point that we should all agree is the fact that the Zambian constitution requires amendment. And Zambian people have agreed that the constitution requires an amendment. The debate is on whether it should be now or not now. But there is an agreement that the constitution requires to be amended, generally. And this fact is coming from the fact that it's not the first time that Zambians are calling for the amendment of the constitution from the time it was amended. Remember the issue of Bill 10? That was an issue of people trying to amend the current constitution. And now we are coming in with Bill 7, which is also Zambian people calling for the amendment of the constitution. So what I'm trying to say is that there has been a general understanding that the constitution of Zambia requires amendment. The argument, however, is that others are saying it shouldn't be now, others are saying it should be now. Now, from our end, as Gears, and indeed with other organizations that we have been working with, we are standing on the fact that it is actually the right time to have the constitution amended now. And the argument is based on the fact that some of the issues that are being raised as constitution amendment issues actually have a very clear bearing on the same elections that we are supposed to come and hold. So, you cannot be hungry today and expect to eat tomorrow. When you are hungry today, you have to eat today. So what I'm trying to say is that the fact that the Constitution of Zambia clearly requires amendment, the time when government shows willingness to have it amended, we need not to give it a chance. When politicians, these politicians I'm gathered here with, show a political will when it comes to amendment of the constitution, we need to move fast and have the constitution amended. Because politicians have their own way of doing things. And at the end of the day, when you talk about a constitutional bill, for example, these are matters that are spearheaded or facilitated by government. So if government can't facilitate a process like this one, then we are lost. So I want to indicate here, IP, that in fact, this issue of constitution amendment, we from Gears have been calling for it from the time the UPND came in power, because it is one of their promises. One of the issues that UPND promised before coming in power was that one of the issues we're going to do is to have the constitution amended. So we have to take them on their promises. So amongst the many promises they made, we said there is one issue that you people haven't done, and that is constitution amendment. What are you thinking about that? And if you remember, when Honorable Hakainde was Minister of Justice, he hinted on this issue of constitution amendment in 2022. So based on that fact, we have been waiting to say, when you promised that you are going to start the process of amending the constitution. Until now, when government has now come out and indicated that they are willing to amend the constitution. So those of us that have been calling for this process, we are excited that finally, Zambian people can have a chance now to discuss and debate matters regarding constitution amendment.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Mr. Lungu. Let's hear from President Anford Banda from PAC as well as WOZA. What is your position over what is being debated on right now?
Thank you very much, IP, and thank you to the viewers out there. Zambia does not need an urgent constitution amendment. Zambia may need constitution amendment, but the constitution amendment needs a consensus from the public. There has to be enough evidence from the people to demonstrate that they want amendment. There has to be enough evidence to demonstrate that the constitution making amendments is people driven, not political party driven, not political expedience driven. There is no evidence whatsoever today as we sit here to show that actually there was serious consensus from the people of Zambia to have the constitution of Zambia amended, and in this manner. And to make matters worse, IP, is that for us, we have history with the Upnd. I think they've got a short memory, because when the PF, proposed, or rather, after the 2016 elections, when the Upnd did not agree with the results, there was tension in the country, which culminated into President HH being arrested for over 100 days. When President HH came out of prison, there was an agreement, a consensus among all the stakeholders, that the constitution was to be amended. We were together with the Upnd, not just in opinion, but together in an alliance to stand together, to actually work on the constitution amendment. Now, you might recall that the People's Alliance for Change, PAC, and the Upnd were not part of BU10. The big reason was that we did not agree with the process that had been set and the roadmap that had been set to actually amend the constitution. So for us as a party to see the Upnd actually, go against the things they actually were against when they were in the opposition, it's really a shame, So we believe that the constitutional amendment process has not followed the thorough process. This is a sacred document, that needs, wider consultations, stakeholder engagement, in order for it to be thoroughly amended. You cannot have a constitution-making process where, for example, organizations such as the Law Association of Zambia are not part of the technical committee. Who actually created the technical committee? Was it a people-driven technical committee? Who actually created the terms of reference? Was it people-driven, or it was just executive? So for us, as the People's Alliance for Change, and speaking on behalf of WAZA, we believe that the process to amend the constitution is flawed and cannot be supported. The rushed process to actually amend the constitution is not just suspicious, but it's clear that this is an attempt to actually manipulate and also to compromise their democracy, that the people fought for in 1991. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Banda, for that submission. We appreciate you. All right, let's hear from the Honorable Member of Parliament for Luwena, representing the United Party for National Development, Upnd. Of course, we're supposed to have Honorable Mwetwa, Minister of Information, who has sent an apology that he will be able to perhaps join us along the way. But of course, whether he does come or he doesn't, I think we have to proceed with the conversation. What is your take? Does Zambia, and why is Zambia require a constitution as at now?
Thank you very much, IP, and good evening to the viewers out there. IP, it would be incorrect to say the people of Zambia have rejected this constitutional amendment bill, because they have demonstrated otherwise. The technical committee that went around getting views from the people received the second highest number of submissions in our history of getting submissions from citizens. Almost 12,000 citizens made submissions, just around 11,800. And when we look into the records of other commissions or committees that have been set up for the same purpose, we see this was the second highest. So the people have actually said they want a constitutional amendment. They might have different submissions that sometimes contradict each other, but they want a constitutional amendment. But now, to answer your question directly, why do we need a constitutional amendment now? Number one, if you look at this Bill 7, it's doing two things. One is to give effect to things that we have committed ourselves to as the people of Zambia in the Constitution, not talking about anywhere else. Specifically here, I want to speak to Article 45 of the Constitution, which requires that the electoral system that we adopt in this country, in Article 47, must be one that, among others, brings in representation for vulnerable groups, must also bring in gender, must be gender sensitive. Now, we made that commitment in Article 45, and we left it there. When you go to the actual electoral system that we are using as a country, there was none of that happening. So all that is happening now is, can we give effect to something that is already in the Constitution? Okay. Number two, we also have the issue of delimitation, which is also in the Constitution, under Article 58. We are required to delimitate every 10 years. It's in the Constitution, so it's a requirement. So the process of amending the Constitution now, in order to remove the 156 and put a new number there as the new number of constituencies, is simply a compliance issue. If we don't do so, we will violate the Constitution. So that's number one, to give effect to things that are already there in the Constitution. Number two, IP, is what I can call housekeeping issues. There are things in the Constitution that probably we, when we were amending our Constitution in the past, did not realize the negative consequences that can come from those provisions. For example, we have a constitutional requirement that during elections, between nomination and the actual holding of elections, if any candidate withdraws, somebody just changes his mind, you know, Chadiba Maningi on the 11th, Auka on the 12th of August 2026, he says, I'm no longer standing. The Constitution requires that that election must be cancelled. Now, whatever logic you might want to give for having that requirement in the Constitution, I have not come across any explanation as to what was the significance of us, the reason for us to put that in the Constitution. One is extremely costly, both for the nation and for the individuals that are participating in these elections. So I will be able to pick up other reasons as we go along. But this categorization I've given, where we have put clauses in the Constitution that can only serve to cause confusion and pain in terms of financial pain in the process of practicing our democracy, just needs to be corrected. Maybe another one I can give, if I'm still within my 2 minutes, is the tenure of office for the Solicitor General. My 2 minutes is already done. Yeah. I can pause there, but let me just conclude by saying the tenure of office for the Solicitor General and Attorney General. How do we tie a tenure of office for those offices to the tenure of office for the politician in the office of the President? It doesn't make sense. At a time when legal advice, proper legal advice is supposed to be available to an incoming administration, the Constitution says you get in there, you don't have a lawyer. You must make decisions, including leading up to you appointing your own chief legal advisor. That was a serious oversight in our Constitution. So these are some of the issues that we need to clean up. So I'll pause there and we will deal with the other issues as they come in.
Thank you so much. I know President Hakainde wants to quickly jump in.
Yes, thank you,
Please,
IP. I think that the Upnd government is playing politics in the issues to do with the constitutional making process. You see, it is about the process and the content. If the process has not been adhered to, as we have been told by the courts of law, which is the constitutional court, it clearly stated that this has failed to meet the threshold. You see, the Constitution is a document for the people of this country, and not for a few individuals, the politicians. In fact, us politicians are supposed to be away from the process of enactment and just come at the tail end, where the parliament now comes in to just come and enact what the people will have presented. So it is something that we need to look at seriously, and going by what we have been seeing. How do you allow a situation where you you present the same 13 clauses of Bill 7. You present to Parliament. Then you hear that, oh, there's a problem. You withdraw, or should I say, you just put eyes on it, and you try to follow the pronouncements by the court. But even then, the document that has been produced by the technical committee, where is it going to be used? Where is it going to be used? Because you already have a bill already presented in Parliament, and you expect that people, even those submissions that have been made by the people, yes, in fact, the technical committee has come up with a good report, I must say. But because it is not speaking to what the UPND government wants to achieve, so they have not gazetted it.
Are you
and
alleging
opted.
Are you alleging or insinuating that the UPND is not happy with what has come out from the...
Obviously, because there are a number of things that are there. I have not read fully,
Right.
but there are a number of things that are there which has been presented that are not in line with Bill 7. So we need to be truthful. I think that the UPND government has shown us more of deceit than reaching out and dealing with reality the way it is supposed to be dealt with. And I think that these are real issues that the constitution of this republic should be put forward, give a time frame that is suitable. We cannot have the committee go to the people for 1 month and expect that we would get something that would be good.
Okay, just hold on there. Let's hear from President Banda before I come to you, Honorable Anapoka. President, I saw your hand.
Yeah, first of all, I mean, before we start making certain arguments, we must apply common sense. Yeah? I mean, from many technical committees that I've sat in the past, and where the UPND wants to present an argument that this is the first time that they have received the highest number of submissions. I mean, did they look at the population that existed before compared to now? Obviously, I mean, it's just common sense that there were a few people then and there are more people now. It's like saying that, no, this is the highest number of voters we've registered in the history of Zambia. Yes, it is, because according to common sense, there are more people today than there were 10 years ago. So that argument cannot stand. The populations have been increasing, so you cannot say, no, this is the the highest number of submissions we've received. The second thing, I mean, agreeing with Honorable Kunda, is that if you are proud that you received the highest number of submissions, why haven't you adopted the submissions that the technical committee brought on the table? Why have you decided to stick with the the bill that was presented in Parliament before the technical committee sat? Those are the questions that we should be asking ourselves, because it doesn't make sense to be proud of having a lot of submissions and then you don't pick up what the people were talking about. And the president receives a report today on a Monday, and Tuesday it's in Parliament. What time did the president have to actually start the report to make sure that he understands what was going to Parliament? So you can also see that all these machinations were premeditated. And if you look at the issue of delimitation, you want to say that you want to follow what the Constitution says. Also, we have to apply common sense in that regard. First of all, where is the delimitation report? Why are you hiding it? why are you hiding the delimitation report? Because you are the same people, the Upnd, who were crying out loud when you're in the opposition, say, no, the PF are not giving us, how much, the debt that this country owes. And you promise, no, when we come into government, we're going to be transparent. We're going to make sure that, the first thing we enact is, access to information bill. But from the time that you came into government, you've been one of the most secretive, governments that we have. Where is the delimitation report? Why are you not giving it to the people so that people should know where these constituencies are going to be divided from?
Maybe it will be easier for Honorable Anakoka to quickly answer that, as well as Mr. Lungu, if I told you've got a submission around that. But let me allow Honorable Anakoka to answer that question, where is the delimitation report?
Thank you very much. But let me start with what my colleague here, Honorable Kunda, submitted.
Yes,
the good thing is Honorable Kunda is politically my senior because he was an MP before me. So he is conversant with how bills are processed in Parliament.
Yes.
A bill is first of all read on the floor of the House, and that's called first reading. Immediately after that, it stands referred to a portfolio committee or a select committee. Now, during the course of the committee scrutinizing that bill, stakeholders are allowed, in fact, they are invited to come and make submissions. Then the committee makes its report and it takes it back to the House. Then the bill is read, second reading, then the House resolves into committee, debates and everything. That's when amendments are made.
Right.
So even if, as you are sitting in your committee, you receive a submission that excites you so much, you can't say, no, now where we are here, the 10 of us in this committee, or the 15 of us in this committee, let us amend this because there is something that has been submitted that we like. It doesn't work like that, because the committee is working on behalf of the whole House. So only the whole House will have the power, or does have the power, to find and approve and amend any amendments to that bill as part of its processing. So there's nothing suspicious with what's happening now. But let's now apply this to the bill that was being
So
Bill
from
7.
what I'm getting from you, I'm getting a sense of feeling that the man you described as your politically senior,
Yes.
Honorable Kunda, Zawapa President, is deliberately ignoring the fact that the process has been followed.
The process is being followed, and it's unfolding as we speak right now.
Right.
I'm sure if he wants,
Yeah,
he can
in
actually
this
go and
case-
make submissions on Bill 7.
Maybe let me come in. You see,
I
in
can
this
pause
case-
there a little bit. There is a
Let's
second
pause
one.
there. Let's-
Yeah,
then
in,
Southern
in, in
Hemisphere.
this case, Honorable Anakoka, I think that we need to be truthful in the way we handle national issues. You see, the issues to do with that report, first of all, what is it for? Why did you go to the people to go and get a report, and then you expect that you do those amendments as time goes? I think that why a report was sought for is because it needed to be gazetted. In fact, one of the terms of reference is that they needed to draft those, the clauses that they feel the people of Zambia had brought about. So then, how are we going to incorporate those, clauses that,
Thank you so much.
the good clauses that are in the report now?
Thank you.
We have to
And
correct
also-
that. We have to correct that before we come to. Let me just correct that.
Please,
It's
correct
very, very
that.
important.
Yes.
Is
Yes, we-
Honorable Anakoka insinuating that the submission by the technical committee, that after they collected their submissions, is insinuating that those amendments will be made in Parliament after the second reading?
The technical committee just submitted its report to the select committee. I think they did that yesterday. And together with many other stakeholders that are making submissions. So we have to wait for the committee to bring its report to Parliament. But it will be erroneous to say that that report is supposed to be gazetted. No, Honorable Kunda. There is no such a thing as gazetting a report of the technical committee. Secondly, there is no court in this country that directed the bill to be withdrawn or to be deferred.
Right.
What happened is the president himself, while the process had actually started in Parliament, he was also continuing to engage civil society organizations. And as part of his own engagement with the civil society organizations and other stakeholders, he decided that we should probably embark on this process that resulted in the appointment of the technical committee.
Right. I want
Now,
to conclude
that
on
means
that,
that
Mr. Lungu.
that means that the submissions the technical committee has brought is to feed into the process, to widen. It doesn't mean that it's the only consultation that was happening, because the parliamentary process itself has provision for other stakeholders. Just like I'm saying, the technical committee submitted this report. Today we had they had the Jesuit Center for Theological Studies, ZAPID, and unions. Everybody who wishes to make submissions is free to go and make submissions. Only then will there be, the committee now will sit down and say, okay, let's look at the submissions that have been made. How does it fit, or how can this now be put together into recommendations to the whole House? So to prejudge the process now and they start saying this has been rejected, that has been rejected, is to put fear in the minds of the people of Zambians, which is not based on anything.
Right.
The process is unfolding, and it's unfolding the way it is supposed to unfold.
Interesting. My question to you is that from where you stand, I want to borrow the question from President Banda here, and also President Kunda, when they lamented or complained or they expressed concerns around the delimitation report.
Yeah, wonderful.
From where you stand,
Yes,
as the UPND member of Parliament, UPND senior member of the UPND, where is the delimitation report as of at this minute?
Thank you very much, IP. I need to be very, very clear on this one, because it surprises us to hear people talking about there is no delimitation report, there is no delimitation report. When the Constitution is very clear on who is supposed to do what, as far as the delimitation is concerned. Article 58 makes it very clear this should happen every 10 years.
Yes.
Secondly, it specifically says the number of constituencies is 156. Now, a delimitation report can only be gazetted, because it's a requirement in the Constitution that the boundaries and names of the new constituencies shall be gazetted by ECZ, and anyone who is not happy is free to go to court. That's what the Constitution says. Now, only after the provision that restricts ECZ has been lifted. For now, they can't delimitate and increase constituencies from 156 to 170 or 211 as it's being proposed in Bill 7 when the Constitution says 156. We have to give them that space. So the process of this report was already started. It didn't even happen under UPND. It happened under PF. The 2019 delimitation report was submitted to President Edgar Lungu. Now, that report never ever went through to Gazette stage. Why? Because the Bill 10 that also attempted to remove the number 156 and then replace it with another number, the new number of constituencies, did not go through. So that's exactly where we are. The processes are unfolding. Once this is done, ECZ then can be asked.
So,
Okay, just
I
on that one.
want to get that correctly. So what you're telling me that at the moment, the delimitation report still sits under the armpits of ECZ.
Absolutely.
Not the executive or whatsoever.
Absolutely, with ECZ. The Constitution is clear here. The Electoral Commission shall, at intervals of not more than 10 years, The names and details of the boundaries of the constituencies and wards shall be published in the Gazette and shall come into effect on the next dissolution of Parliament or councils.
Okay.
It's the ECZ that does
When
that.
will
That's
the
interesting.
when will the gazetting be done? That is the
Thank you so much, President Punda. Hold on there. Let's hear from Mr. Lungu. He's been quiet for a
Let's
while.
remove 156 from the
you so much.
constituents and they will do the report. They will finalize it.
Okay, let's give chance to Mr. Lungu.
Thank you so much.
You've had the hit.
This is what happens. This is what happens.
President Banda as well as Anakoka, we also have
Exactly.
a president.
This is exactly what happens when you are sitting with politicians.
Yes.
So it's nice to be here. From the discussion that we are having, IP, critically analyzing the presentations from my colleagues, clearly you can see that the Constitution of Zambia requires amendment. It is clear from why I'm saying so. I want to borrow the words of President Banda, who has clearly indicated that Zambia may need constitution amendment, but the process, that is its concern. President Kunda also has clearly indicated that the process is what is a concern.
No.
And we also
indicated,
we also expressed concern
Let's get
with
the
the
facts
process.
from him. He's
No,
denying.
I didn't say
Have you
that.
been misquoted?
Process.
No, I've been misquoted.
Okay, which one is correct?
You see, we are not in a crisis, and therefore the constitution does not need to be amended now in a rushed manner.
I know.
That has been
And
So
I also
that's-
mentioned
that's a-
there is no urgent need to amend the constitution.
We'll respond to that.
So that's a very
So now,
that's a very wonderful.
go back to
That's why
Mr.
I use the word critical analysis.
right.
So any academician listening to us right now, when you do critical analysis, you'll be able to tell that everyone actually here is indicating that there's need for constitution amendment. There was an emphasis of the word now from the president. That indication is that the constitution must be amended, but not now. Now, let me say something here, IP. This issue of constitution amendment and the process, we from the civil society also expressed concern. When the bill was written, when the bill was gazetted, we did express concern, and we wrote a letter to the president. We started first writing a letter to the minister to say we want a meeting with you, honorable minister, because we have some concern with the bill. When that was delayed, we wrote direct to the president, and lucky enough, the president accorded us that opportunity to meet him, and we met the president in June. Not only us, by the way, not only the consortium that had written, but together with the other civil society organizations. We were 34 civil society organizations together when we met the president. It was on that day that we asked the president, say, Mr. President, we have a concern over this bill. And our concern is the fact that it has not taken into consideration public input. We indicated that. So we said, can we have a way? We are asking you to defer the bill, and if you go in the papers, to be specific, the Daily Nation quoted Gears one day indicating that Gears calls for deferment of Constitution Amendment Bill number 7. We were quoted in that in that paper, indicating that we called for the deferment of the bill. And when we met the president, he said, no, Mr. President, we are concerned with the process. We want the Zambian people to be heard. And that was way before the court ruling. And we are happy that after that meeting, the president deferred the bill. So after that deferment of the bill, we were now waiting for the president to appoint the team, because we asked him to say, what we want, Mr. President, is a team of experts that you must put in place to go and carry out consultations with the Zambian people. We want to hear an input from the Zambian people on this matter. And then we agreed. And to tell you the truth, even if you had to ask several civil society organizations that were present that day, they'll tell you this was an agreement. The president gave us one task. He said, now the task that I am giving you guys, you from the civil society organization, can you write to my office or to the minister the civil society organizations from which I must appoint this team? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Write the names of civil society organizations from which I will appoint this team. We wrote that letter, and it was signed by the civil society organizations. Submitted that letter to the minister. What did we see? The president appointed the technical committee. Who do we see in the technical committee? Different members of the civil society organizations present there. So and none of them, if you have observed, there is none of them who said, me, I'm not going to take part in this. Because it was coming from the fact that we had agreed with the government on this matter. Now, taking this matter now forward, The technical committee goes, carries out its task. And I'm happy Honorable Kunda is indicating clearly that he is impressed with the technical committee report. And we are as well impressed with the technical committee report. And it is our desire now, IP, to see the content of that technical committee report be part and parcel of the amendment of this bill. We want to see the bill change its picture from the way it was introduced in Parliament to what now we are making as submissions. Right now, as the Honorable Anakoka has indicated, the technical, the select committee is sitting, and Gears is actually appearing before that committee tomorrow. So I want to indicate that the fact that the committee is now sitting, and the technical committee has submitted that report to the select committee. Our hope and desire, standing from the civil society organizations who called for the appointment of the committee, we want to see the content of that bill, of that report, be taken on board when the Parliament is undertaking its amendment process.
Interesting. Let me also get your views around. Quite interesting that Honorable Anakoka here, I think, has given us a synopsis of what needs to be amended in terms of the 13 proposed, topical areas or critical areas in our constitution. What is your position regarding the delimitation report, which President Kunda is worried and is questioning where is that report? Which President Banda, he has also expressed concern that we have not seen that report, so to begin to study it, which constituencies are subject for delimitation. Have you seen, you being one of those supporting delimitation, have you seen this report?
No,
delimitation report?
No, we haven't seen the delimitation report, and I need to
Are
be
you
very
worried?
quick about that.
Are you concerned?
No, my concern is that Zambia's population has grown and it requires delimitation. That is my concern. You get my point? The country's population has grown and grown tremendously and requires to be amended. My concern is that article in the constitution which says Zambia is going to have 152 constituencies.
56.
That 156 that is our concern. Our concern, IP, is the fact that if we are never going to undertake this delimitation, then we are saying we have to continue with the same status quo. You get my point? Now, since delimitation has been undertaken, and we know very well that for ECZ to tell us, to say there is need for this and this constituents to be divided, that is also our desire. We want to see that.
But how tried to make attempts to ECZ perhaps to demand for that report? So
exactly, we have done that. We have done that as CSOs. We have done that as CSOs, and so the response was that it is not ECZ that is supposed to deliver to the public this report. They have to deliver it to government first, and it is government that will make it available to the public.
When is ECZ going to deliver that document to the
so that is what we are all now waiting for.
You haven't?
No, we haven't. No, we haven't gotten that.
All right.
Yes, that is our desire.
Before you react, all of you, I can see a lot of hands in the studio. But for now, together with the viewers watching the program, it will be important that we watch this video that speaks to the delimitation as well as the constitutional making process in Zambia. Let's watch that video.
I see that the Commission, good morning and welcome, supports the clause for delimitation of constituencies. I would like to find out, Chair, at what stage the Commission is going to communicate to the nation which constituencies will be due for delimitation.
Thank you, Honorable Kombo. Witness, please take note.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. At this stage, Chair, I seek your indulgence to invite my colleagues to respond to some of the clarifications. I'll speak to the first question in terms of where Honorable Nkombo sought clarity from the Commission as to when the Commission will indicate to the people of Zambia which constituencies are earmarked for delimitation. Honorable Chairperson, your committee may wish to note that following the public consultation exercise that the Electoral Commission of Zambia undertook in 2019, a report was prepared and that report was submitted to the executive. It is that report, Honorable Chairperson, that has since been revised and again submitted to the executive to inform the number that is indicated in the bill. Honorable Chairperson, once the Electoral Commission of Zambia submits that report or such a report to the executive, it's no longer in the hands of the commission to release that report to the public. It is with the executive. So where the commission stands is now to await for the amendment of the Constitution, and once the implementation, the actual implementation of the new constituencies is done, indicates so the new boundaries of the constituencies in a statutory instrument, and thereby inform the public of which constituencies have since been established following the amendment to the Constitution. Chair, I submit.
Thank you so much for watching the Big Hour debate right on KBN TV from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka, with me, Innocent Piri. You can simply call me IP. I have in the studio President Howard Kunda, who is a leader of Zambia World Cup Zawapa. We also have People's Alliance for Change President Hanford Mailebanda and Honorable Mobita Anakoka Luena, Member of Parliament from the United Party for National Development, UPND. And also we've got a member of the civil society organization in Lakson Lungu. When you listen to that, I'll ask this question. I think it's coming. First of all, I'll start with you, Mr. Lungu. You did mention in your preamble that when you spoke to ECZ, they mentioned to you that they don't have, the report is before the executive, right?
Exactly.
That's what you said?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly what I said.
So,
and that's exactly what has been reported there.
In the video, what the viewers who I think will guide us more, what I've gotten from there is that the report was actually handed over to the executive. You're right, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the question, So the question is, have you engaged the executive? Maybe you in your personal capacity.
So in our capacity as gears, on this particular issue of the report, we have engaged the executive.
Okay.
We have engaged the executive. You know, as civil society organization, we don't want to leave a stone unturned.
Yeah.
Okay. We have engaged the executive, and of course, we have been assured that at an appropriate time, this report is going to be made available to the public. Of course, we have been pushing. We really want to know. And the most interesting thing now is what Honorable Anakoka has brought out, which now we are making. We are trying to, and we are going to engage the legal minds on this matter.
Right.
Honorable Anakoka has clearly indicated that it is impossible to gazette the bill, to show the content of the report, before amending that part of the Constitution, which was now we are going to engage our own legal experts to explain to us on that particular issue.
Thank you so much. I just want us to give reaction to the video. Honorable Anakoka, in your submission,
yes,
you made mention that according to you, the report is still with ECZ.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
no. I actually said it was submitted to the executive in 2020, the 2019 report. Yes.
Yes.
Now,
I insisted in my asking or in my questioning that the report has it been submitted to the current administration? Your answer was you do not know, but it is with the commission right now. That was the answer, unless I'm wrong.
I think
you can correct me.
Yes.
We are conversing.
I think what I said is that the process of gazetting the constituencies, which is outlined in Article 58, cannot be done now until the impediment, which is the fixed number in the Constitution, is removed. And in the concluding remarks of, I think it's the Chief Electoral Officer, said, he actually concluded by saying, following the amendment of the Constitution.
Exactly.
So in other words, it's simply for us to be patient and be systematic in the way we are doing things.
Right.
We can't be running all over the place. So for now, the issue is, because we decided as a nation to include the number of constituencies in the constitution, it means every time a delimitation process is being undertaken, we will most likely have to first of all go back and revisit that number.
Right.
Now, that involves a conversation, and which is what the ECZ has said,
Right.
that they will do the delimitation, and actually they said that report has since been revised. Okay. Now, how does it move from where it is now to a gazette? First, we have to deal with Bill 7.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Your reaction, President, to that? Quickly.
Yeah, I think that for me, you know, I am very straightforward, very truthful, and want to do things the way they are supposed to be done. It is very important. This is our country. This is a country where the people out there expect us as leaders to be, first of all, honest in whatever we do. Secondly, in whatever, you know, that we are trying to do, we should put the people first and not ourselves. I say that because, you see, this issue of delimitation, I would want to ask questions. When is it going to be availed to the people of this country? What are you delimiting? Are you cutting constituencies for who? If the people themselves do not know what is coming ahead. And by the way, we only have 5 months. Honorable Anakoka knows that 5 months is what is left for them to do anything there. The president will be alone with the vice president. There will not be a parliament there. We need to do the right thing. And I would want to appeal to the Zambian people. I'm sure they are listening and they are seeing what is going on in this country. This issue of rushing things does not help. It will not help this country. We need to involve the people of this country for them to make informed decisions as leaders. That is, I think, the point that I would want to make.
All right.
It is for the people of Zambia.
Thank you so much. Before you come in, Honorable Hanakoka,
Yes.
allow the President Upnd to also have a bite over this.
Yeah, so it's
Based on the video.
I mean, based on the video, it's clear that the UPND are hiding the delimitation report. The UPND are hiding the delimitation report. The executive, the president, is the president of the UPND. Informing the public of which constituencies they intend to divide or delimitate after the constitutional amendment does not amount to the breach of the Constitution. We are not asking them to actually gazette, the constituencies that, are going to be delimitated. We are asking them to give us information to say, these are the proposed constituencies that need to be divided. That is just giving information to the public. It's a responsibility of every government. Now, they want to come up with legal jargons here. Article Chakuti does not allow us to do what? No. In any event, every process that you undertake, this serious process must involve the people, must involve the stakeholders. Why should we, the stakeholders, we the people that are going to participate, in these elections, not know, which constituencies have been delimited? We should have been part of that process. We should have been justifying that process.
Right.
This is how it has worked. I will just give you one example. That's the reason why, if you hear that people say that Bill 7 is worse than Bill 10, they are very right. Because we were a witness. We were working with the UPND. Before, the Bill 10 was created, there was the National Dialogue Forum, where all the proposals were discussed in a wider group, and every person was free to participate. We boycotted because we just didn't want to participate, because we did not agree with what? The process. But the UPND, PAC, and other stakeholders were invited to sit in the National Dialogue Forum to argue, the contents of what was going to actually culminate in Bill 10.
Right.
Has the UPND done that? In any event, even the technical committee, you cannot tell us that, the submissions by the technical committee, as you are proudly saying, Honorable Nakoka, to say that you've received 12,000 submissions, that all those submissions will be done in Parliament. That process should have been done before, the gazetting of Bill 7. The technical committee should have actually gone out there to collect submissions. And people should have sat, stakeholders should have sat to actually scrutinize what the people were submitting. After the scrutiny, that's when the bill was supposed to be crafted. You cannot tell us that you go and you push a bill in Parliament, and then the Constitutional Court fines you 40. After they find you 40, then you say, okay, let's send people to go and consult. And then when they go and consult, you say, okay, let's continue discussing this, and then we are going to amend it at a later stage. Yes, I've never been a member of Parliament, but I can tell you that it's wrong. This is a sacred document. And I think, like he said, let's be serious. This is the issue about the country. Let's be serious. Let's not justify things that don't make sense. This is an issue that has to deal with the people of Zambia. What you are doing as a UPND is very dangerous.
Thank you so much.
I have to respond to that. Just quickly, yes.
All right, quickly,
yes.
I want us to move on.
Yes.
I'll only allow Honorable Anakoka to
thank you. Thank you for that opportunity.
Also, for him to answer together with the
please give him a chance.
Yes,
you
see,
Honorable.
I would want Honorable Anakoka to tell the people of Zambia when this delimitation report will be made available for the public to know which constituency is going to be delimited.
Okay.
The constitution, what number are you going to put in the constitution for you to show that you have done this delimitation and this is the number?
Thank you.
We need to know.
Right.
IP, indeed we have to handle these matters very, very serious. And as UPND, we are very, very, very serious. But the one thing we are even more serious about is due process according to the law. My brother there, Andford, is talking about a process that should respond to our individual whims. No. You don't do things like that. No matter how emotive a particular subject is, you have to refer to the law, how it's supposed to be handled. So I know. I also would love to know whether the constituency that I represent now, Luena constituency, would be delimitated. But where we are now, there is something first to be done before we get to that stage. And the safeguards of how, if anyone is unhappy with what will be gazetted, are again included in the Constitution in terms of what you do in order to challenge that delimitation, the gazetted delimitation report. So at this stage, we must make sure we do not allow ourselves to repeat things that are not true, but that have been said so many times out there and they begin to sound like they are true. Even in 2019, that my brother there, President for PAC, was referring to, when NDF was meeting, they did not have the delimitation report alongside the proposed amendments. So the process that's being suggested here is not even what was followed even then. Because in terms of the process, they needed first of all to remove the number 156 from the Constitution before you move to the
What's wrong
new
with
number.
informing the people?
Yeah, and what number? You haven't
no,
asked.
what
Oh, in
number
this
is-
case, the new
what
number is
number
211. It's
conforming? We're
211.
not
The
asking
new
you to
number is in
gazette.
Bill 7. It's 211.
We're not
It's
asking
being
you to
proposed
gazette.
to
What's
increase the
wrong
number
with
of
just informing
constituencies.
the
So
people?
how many constituencies? I think it is
No,
very
no, no. I
important
think
for
I
the
think
Zambian
Honorable
people.
Kunda needs to be responded to.
Yeah, before we-
he hasn't read Bill 7, so let me tell him that the Bill 7 is proposing to increase from 156 to 211 constituencies. It's there in Bill 7.
There is also.
Yes. So there's a number now for you.
Yes. No,
Let's
but
make progress.
please,
Honorable Kunda.
please,
Just hold on.
I beg
I'm
you.
afraid we might dwell much into this topic.
The
alone
deputation
and then-
only.
Exactly.
We haven't even
Maybe
come to the gist.
My last question to you, Honorable Nakoka, is in 2020, when the Patriotic Front initiated Bill 10, your party Upnd were opposed
Yes.
to enacting or amending the constitution.
Yes.
Why did you oppose Bill 10?
Thank you. Bill 10 was indeed a poisoned chalice. Why? There are a number of things that it was introducing.
Such as?
One,
Let's run
it
them
was
quickly.
proposing bringing back deputy ministers, something that the people of Zambia had said no to. And in fact, they were accordingly removed in 2016. It was there. Secondly, it was proposing an arrangement that was going to temper or dilute the 50+1. They were proposing that people can mix their votes. If you get 45% and the other candidate gets 46%, none of you has got 50+1, you should be, the one who has got 46 should be allowed to have the opportunity to look around from those that have the 5 to 3% so that they can add to the 46 and see if he can cross over. That was there in Bill 10. And we said that is a dangerous thing to do because it was diluting something that the people of Zambia had for many, many decades been crying for, 50+1, so that we don't have minority presidents in this country.
I want to move with you,
Yes.
and we must be factual as
Yes.
we are having this
Absolutely.
discussion.
Absolutely.
I read Bill 10 myself.
Which
I
version did you read? Because there were two of them, huh?
I extensively, unless something I didn't really read, but
Yes.
I extensively covered Bill 10 during my days as an active reporter.
Yes.
Which part was suggesting to scrap off the 50+1%?
That's what I've explained to you. At the NDF that they convened, they proposed that an arrangement to allow one candidate, the one who has got the highest votes, to go into a coalition of some sort with the other candidates to see if they can cross the 50+1 threshold should be provided for. I know this for a fact.
Right.
So we were opposed to Bill 10.
I will not argue the
Yes,
facts.
we
I
were
will not
opposed
argue
to
the
that.
facts.
Absolutely.
What I will agree with you is
Yes.
that Bill 10 was suggesting to restate
Deputy ministers, yes.
There I will agree with you.
Absolutely.
What
yes.
I don't agree with you is that Bill 10 was suggesting to scrap off the 50+1%. There, I'm ignorant.
That is
from
an
where I
arrangement
stand.
that they actually
But if
agreed
those are
at
facts, I will leave it to you, your member
NDF.
of parliament.
They agreed on that at NDF.
Hold on there. Honorable Howard Kunda, you supported Bill 10. Yes or no?
Yes, I supported Bill 10.
Right.
I'm happy it's not me who has asked him. I was going to ask him at some point.
Bill 10 was a better document. In fact, for me, like I said, I do things straight. I look in the eye of somebody and tell him, this is wrong. So I supported Bill 10. And it was better, and the process was followed to the letter. It was just shot down in Parliament.
Wonderful.
And there were, processes that he has talked about where a select committee was...
And you were a member of that select committee?
No.
You were not, huh?
For Bill 10, no, I was not.
Thank you.
But in 2016, I was part of that
that's what I remember
constituency
now.
amendment,
Yes.
together with Honorable Mwetwa. We were the ones who were dealing with that. So, you see, this country, we cannot be grossing over things and expect that in the future it will not haunt us. these things are very important to deal with as we go. You see, this is the constitution that we are talking about. It is not, an act of parliament. They can play around with those issues of, the Public Order Act, those things they can play with, but not with the constitution.
Now, my question to you is that my question to you, President Kunda, is that the reason why I asked you a question that you supported Bill 10.
Yes.
And because I covered you.
Yes.
In the news supporting Bill 10 at the time. What was the rationale? What was running through your minds to, first of all, suggest that cabinet ministers should be reinstated when the country was already, and it is struggling economic-wise?
No, it is not struggling the way it is. The current government is struggling, and that's why we are saying we shouldn't be rushing in these things. There are serious problems that the people of Zambia should be, accorded the opportunity to deal with.
Point of order, Yes. Honorable Kunda can certainly not be in order to say that the country was not struggling at the time he supported Bill 10, as it is struggling now. How can he say so when in 2020 we defaulted as a country? We failed to pay our first installment on the Eurobond.
I'm talking about...
how can that be?
The issues to do with
so let him respond now.
I'm talking about the issues to do with Bill 10. Let us not be, trivial about these things. Let us be serious.
I think it goes back to what Honorable Nakoka has mentioned. Because if you are going to suggest that we should reinstate deputy ministers in an economy which is already struggling, it goes back to the economic aspect. It goes back to spending more money on individuals whose job may be neither here nor there.
On that one, I supported for a reason. You see, even now, Honorable Nakoka would want to be deputy minister to help the minister because the ministers are overwhelmed. You see, in this country, they are saying, they are now dealing with issues. But you see, the time that we supported Bill 10 for the reintroduction of the deputy ministers was because the ministers were overwhelmed. Even now, you can't have the same minister sitting in cabinet, coming to answer questions in parliament, and expect to all go around the country. And I can tell you that is why we have this situation where the ministers can't be seen. Sometimes I wonder who the minister of, for example, environment. I don't know. You see, it's because they are overwhelmed. I'm not blaming the minister.
Would you agree, my last question to you as we move on quickly, from where you stand as a senior politician in this country, I mean, your late father, a well-renowned leader in this country, at a level of becoming a vice president, the late State Council George Kunda, and later on you became a member of parliament in the same area where your late father was. Today you're running a political party. You never gave Zambians a suitable or a well-defined or well-understood constitution. Don't you think that you've been part and parcel of the mess Zambia is in today, constitutional-wise, as Honorable Nakoka is lamenting right now?
I've already answered that question. There's no crisis in our current constitution. It is the same constitution that ushered in the Upnd government. So, what has changed now? I think that, you see, we cannot have a situation where just because we have seen that we are no longer popular, we want to create, the constituencies, and maybe in those areas where they feel they are strong. But even then, I can tell you that in those areas where they think that they are strong. The Zambian people are suffering. And the decision will be seen next year. Those issues of numbers, that maybe they have the numbers in parliament, they'll be able to pass this bill. You see, the next government, and I'm hoping that the Zambian people will be able to see that we mean well for them. And the Zambia Wake Up Party Zawapa coming to rule this country. Right. You will see what we shall do. There are so many things that we can try to give the UPND on how best they can resolve issues and have a better Zambia, and not what we are seeing. It is an issue that needs to be looked at by the Zambian people, not by the UPND, because they have seen that they are no longer popular, and they are going come 2026, and therefore they want safeguards, survival, tricks to try and use for them to win the next
Those are serious allegations.
Yes, we need to respond to some of them very quickly. Yes.
Just 1 minute.
1 minute indeed.
To Mr. Lungu, then President Banda. Please have a bit of some patience with me. I'm coming back to you with the last person.
IP.
Within a minute.
There's one question that has been posed.
Is your UPND, is the UPND unpopular as it is being accused now by President Kunda? Are you banking on the
absolutely not.
Making process
Absolutely. We are very, very popular. From where we sit, we are more popular now than we were in 2021. And we are ready to grab more seats in 2026 than we have now. Now, I will tell you this.
Are you very sure that come next year, 2026, you are going to win the elections?
Our record,
or you shall retain power, in short?
Our performance as a party in government, I think there is no party that can stand up and say, when they had an opportunity to manage the economic affairs of this nation, they matched what the UPND has done in 4 years. But let me quickly respond to the issue of why now.
Yeah,
because it's a question of why rush.
Engaging the viewers, I can see a lot of cause right now.
IP, there is no rush. From where we sit as UPND, the increased representation of women, youth, and people with disabilities in parliament cannot wait another day. All right? Secondly, we do not think the dangerous lacunas that we already know and can see that can create chaos in the country should be allowed to exist another day. Honorable here said there is no crisis. In 2016, it was because of the personal attributes of the current Republican president. When the petition was never heard and determined. Instead, it was just heard. When the people turned up on a Monday for it to be processed further so that a determination can be made, they were told the number of days has expired. Now, that is a dangerous lacuna that is now being proposed to be corrected in Bill 7 by saying, let the petition be heard and determined in this specific number of days. So, we shouldn't bury our heads in the sand. Right. And I think as long as there's some air blowing out there, everything is all right. No, this constitution has major issues that needs to be sorted out. We can't delay the coming into parliament of people with disabilities.
Thank you so much. No. Let's hear from Mr. Lungu. I will also give you a minute to quickly make your submission. I want us to engage the viewers. There are so many calls that are coming through.
Thank you very much, IP. And I want to take this opportunity to quickly indicate that this discussion we are having here, IP, is simply because Zambia is a democracy. We are here discussing constitutional amendment because the country is a democracy. But democracy does not just call us doing what we are doing here. Democracy also calls for inclusivity. Now I want to indicate why exactly GEARS and the other organizations are strongly in support of the amendment of the constitution and amendment now.
And you also, before you proceed,
yes.
You also GEARS is on record having condemned, opposed to Bill 10
yes.
under the PF. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So when you look at the contents under the PF at the time and the contents of Bill 7 today,
yes.
Would you say Bill 7 is far much better than Bill 10 as it was?
Yes. There are actually only two issues that I can relate to Bill 10, which are related to what is in Bill 7, but I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Let me indicate here, IP, that we from the civil society organizations, our desire is to see a more democratic nation. The desire of these presidents I have here is to come and govern a country that is highly democratic. And you can only do that by ensuring that we promote inclusivity in the way we do our politics. I know that all of us gathered here, I doubt if there's anyone who is happy with less than 15% of women in parliament. I doubt if there's anyone who likes that. I doubt with these youthful presidents that I am gathered here with today, which I want to take advantage of, if they are happy having a parliament that does not completely have a youth. I doubt that. So we are saying, in this particular constitutional amendment, why we are supporting is because of that push for an increase in the number of women. An increase in the number of youth. And that is what democracy must be inclusive. Now, coming to the issue of Bill 7, you are right that we are amongst the people that did not support Bill 10, yeah. Just like President Anford Banda and the UPND, of course, even ourselves. The reason is simple, IP. Number one, first let me talk about what was in Bill 7, what was in Bill 10 and is also in Bill 7, yes. Proportional representation. That matter was there in Bill 10, and it is also there in this constitutional amendment.
But you condemned Bill 10.
Yes, now let me explain.
Yes, was there.
Exactly. Let me say.
Why?
So the reason why we had issues with Bill 10, the first one is, you remember that currently, for a government to access government loan, to access public loan, they need parliamentary approval. You have clearly indicated that you did a lot of work around that. Yes. The Bill 7 was proposing to do away with that particular aspect of Parliament approving government desire to get loan. Bill 7 was talking about bringing back, as he has indicated, the position of deputy minister. And the President Kunda here has indicated that you would still love that, even now. President Kunda, please no. We wouldn't want to bring back that position of deputy ministers. I think would rather have increased allocation of finances to the people than to politicians. Would love to see that. Bill 10 was trying to do away with the second ballot, which the current constitution actually promotes. The second ballot, that was trying to take our democracy back. We wouldn't have loved to support that. Now, Bill 7, we have looked at all the provisions in Bill 7 and we're trying to understand which one here is threatening our democracy. We have tried to look, promoting more women. Is that going to do away with our democracy? Bringing in youth, is that going to do away with our democracy? So we have looked at how democratic our country will remain.
Let's meet somewhere, you and the viewers,
yes,
through me, of course. So are you agreeing that despite some other seemingly or perceived contentious proposals under Bill 10 and during the PF, there were some progressive clauses,
we wouldn't deny that fact.
Okay, but you decided to just oppose it completely.
No, you look at which one weighs most.
Wait a bit.
Uh-huh.
My question is, in Bill 10, there were some progressive clauses,
exactly,
right, which were contained.
Exactly.
However, you decide to condemn it or oppose it completely,
yes,
right?
Yes.
In its entirety.
Yes, because the ones that were progressive were fewer than the ones that were less progressive. But in this one, we have issues.
It's the same question.
Exactly.
It's the same question. My question is, in Bill 10, there were some progressive clauses, but you decided to condemn it or oppose it completely. Yes or no?
We opposed it completely.
That's the answer I wanted.
Because it can only be passed as a bill.
Okay, that's the answer I wanted.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear from President. You've got a minute, 30 seconds as well.
Well, thank you very much. First of all, we want to put it on record that as the People's Alliance for Change PAC, we were against Bill 10 and also we are against Bill 7. Now, that's what you call consistency. Now, we want to just make it clear that no matter how much, the UPND can sugarcoat, embalm, this Bill 7, and also give reasons as to why they opposed Bill 10, the main reason why the UPND were not part of Bill 10 was the process. I was sitting next to President HH. We were sitting there at old glass offices. We were going to Pamosi. We were sitting at Honorable the Minister of Infrastructure's place. Right. We were sitting at Community House, talking about how this process should be undertaken. When we got to a point where we did not agree on the process, before even one content of Bill 7 was written, we abandoned the constitution making process. So the issue about the UPND abandoning Bill 10 has nothing to do with the content. Right. Nothing to do with the content. They cannot argue. We were with them. We are witnesses. It was about the issue of agreeing the process. Now, to flip it back to them is that at what point did they engage stakeholders to say, okay, stakeholders, you come on the round table, let's discuss the process of how to amend the constitution. Zero. So the UPND did not deny Bill 10 because of anything. Even before one item was written in Bill 10, the UPND were ready not for constitution amendment, just like us. So the biggest issue that many stakeholders have, including the Oasis Forum and everything, yes, they can sugarcoat, clauses to say, no, youth in parliament, women and whatnot. But the constitution, being a sacred document, requires that a process that is agreed and people-driven, is implemented. Now, if you're going to miss that aspect, if you're going to miss those steps, it means that there's a good chance. That's the reason why we are here. That's why there's so much tension in the country on Bill 7. You know why there's so much tension? Because we did not agree to the process. We were not involved in the process. We were not consulted in the process. The people of Zambia were not consulted. This thing is not people-driven. It's a UPND-driven agenda. And the consequences of this implementation of this constitution, it will be felt later. People might not see. People might argue. They might think we are politicking. But we know this is this Bill 7 is for political expedience and nothing else.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. I would want us to move to another subject now. I think we've spent a lot of time talking about the constitutional making process in that regards. Now, in case you just joined us, this is the Big Hour debate today on Tuesday. Of course, we're live on KBN TV, channel 279, Go TV. Of course, 27, as well as Topside Decoder, channel 102. You can follow the program via social media platform. That's KBN TV, Facebook page, and YouTube as well. I have in the studio Zawapa President, Honorable Howard Kunda, a veteran, long-standing politician in Zambia. We've got also Honorable Anakoka Mwita coming from the Wena constituency, sitting, representing Honorable Cornelius Mwetwa. We've got also a member of the CSO in the name of Mr. Lakson Lungu, who is the chairperson of GIA's initiative. We've got as well the People's Alliance for Change, President Andiford Banda as well, who has been around again in the political landscape. He has contested in about 2 presidential or 2 general elections up to where we are today. Now, let's look at the state of democracy in Zambia. I know that a number of you have been calling me wanting to contribute. We'll be opening up the phone line anytime from now. So please do have a little bit of some patience with me because I've got just one component or one segment I need to handle before we open up the phone line. Let's come to the state of democracy in Zambia. That's the biggest elephant in the room. We'll start with President Andiford Banda, People's Alliance for Change. How would you describe the state of governance in Zambia within a minute? We'll try to cruise. President Banda.
Of course, it's disappointing. When the UPND, were in the opposition, they promised to do things better. Actually, I wish Honorable Mwetwa was here. I would have reminded him clearly, because I've written a book, as you may be aware, and it's quoted in my book, where when this the PF actually enacted the cybersecurity bill and it came into law, he said, your rights have been taken away. He actually warned you journalists to be very careful what you write. And people were hopeful. And he said the first thing that President HH is going to do, once he's elected as president, is to actually repeal the cybersecurity that was enacted by the PF. But what happened when the UPND came into government was the opposite, was actually to make the law more draconian and to actually make it stiffer. Whereas, because nowadays, IP, we live in the information age. People discuss ideas, they express themselves through, the internet. Of course, we would have commended the UPND if they had actually focused on cleaning up certain things, they were supposed to clean up. But they actually enhanced that cybersecurity to ensure, that anyone who just says something, negative about politics, in a way that it's easy to be caught in a web. Now, this is not a playbook that the UPND actually created. It's a playbook that they have learned, from way back, from colonial times. I mean, these laws were actually created, to actually curtail, freedom of expression in one or the other. One of the other issues that they promised to do was to actually reform the Public Order Act. But as we speak today, it's a tall order to actually just have, political meetings. You saw what happened a few weeks ago. Honorable Given Numinda was manhandled, by UPND cadres in Kawe, who actually accused him of not getting permit, to actually have those meetings. So these and many examples, you saw what happened at the PF Secretariat a few weeks ago, where, the UPND cadres went and attacked the PF Secretariat. And we've seen that we've never had this number of by-elections, induced.
Maybe for the sake of clarity, how do you know that the people who attacked Honorable Given Lubinda were UPND cadres? And how would you prove that the people who went to attack the PF Secretariat were also UPND cadres?
I think it was there in the news. First of all, there were some UPND young officials that confirmed that they went to actually manhandle Honorable Ruinda because they knew that he had not gotten a permit. So they had to actually conduct, what do they call that? What do you call? Citizens arrest. And they said, we are UPND. I'm a youth chairperson for Kabwe. It was there on the news. You didn't see it? There was apologies and the warning from the UPND when the PF Secretariat was actually attacked to say, we are going to deal with the perpetrators. The UPND themselves, they said it. Right. And these are the things that the people said we are voting out in 2021. The people of Zambia expected better. But it's unfortunate that, these things are coming back, I think, with full force.
Thank you so much, President Banda. Let's hear from a member of the CSO, Mr. Lungu Lakson, representing GEAR's initiative.
Thank you.
How would you describe the state of democracy in Zambia?
Thank you so very much, IP. I must be very categorical here to indicate that we, as GEAR's initiative, have been pushing for the amendment of the Public Order Act to replace it with a public gatherings bill. We have visited the Minister of Home Affairs with this matter, calling for that. In short, we are interested in seeing a more democratic Zambia. That is our interest. We are interested to see politicians participating effectively in governance. That is our interest. We are interested to see leaders of political parties gathered the way they are here without fearing anything. We are interested to see that. We are interested to see marketeers going to do their business in the markets without fearing anyone who is going to intimidate them. We are interested to see that. We are not interested as a civil society to see a country where people are running away from each other because of political differences. We are not interested to see that. So to talk about the current political environment in terms of politics, allow me to indicate categorically here, IP, to say, so far so good, as far as we from the civil society are concerned. We are observing how you, even as KBN, have been, rightly so, featuring different political party leaders on this TV station. Impressive how different political party leaders are coming and airing their views. We also remember that there were days when political leaders would literally fear to feature on a radio station because the radio station might be closed. We are impressed to see how many radio stations and TV stations have now been established in this country, IP. These media houses that have been set up, is an indication that our democracy keeps on growing. If you go on social media today, looking at how Zambians are freely debating and doing things like that, it becomes, it is something that impresses us. However, we still indicate that we can still make more improvement. One, can we have the Public Order Act amended? We have already indicated that there is a public gatherings bill that can be used to replace this law. It's not a good law in a democracy. It is a law that we must do away with now. We even reminded the minister when we visited his office. You promised when you were in opposition that this law is going to be done away with. We are here to call on you to help to make sure that this law is taken to Parliament. We have called the minister to do that. We are interested in seeing a more democratic nation. So improvements have been made. We would like to see more improvement democratically.
When you say that improvements have been made, would you say, because I mean we have to grow as a country,
yes,
you know,
yes.
in democracy,
yes.
multipartyism, or rather economically, if you wish, would you say we have moved some progressive steps further from where we're coming from under the UNIP, under the MMD, under the PF? We have moved a step further.
Yes, remember that. Yes.
Further?
So remember that under the UNIP we were a one-party state.
Yeah.
We moved from being a one-party state to a multi-party democracy. And you remember very well that immediately after MMD came into power, we almost ran out of opposition political party. If you look at the 1996 elections,
right?
Those 1996 elections were, if we were not careful, could have slid.
Let me show you.
But now, from there,
so that we don't take much time.
Yes, yes.
From where the Upnd took it over, or
yes.
took it from,
yes,
from the PF, would you say we are much progressive?
From where we stand, we are progressing very well. From where we stand, we are progressing very well.
Thank you so
much.
But
we want the Public Order Act.
There's a point of order
to be amended.
Is it an interjection?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed with my brother here. I mean, the way he's very happy with how the UPND is doing. Very impressed, by the way. You know, I wish I could have his convictions, you know, at this point. But you see, I'm not going to take much of your time, IP, but for the first time in this country, let's count how many politicians are in the courts of law. What's that law again? Not cyber, the other one. Seditious.
Right.
How many people are in prison today based on seditious? Tell me. So you can tell me that, you know, these records that are there in the courts of law, because these are intimidations, you know, coming from the government, not giving people an opportunity to express themselves. You know, when you just say something, you know, you're trying to actually incite this, you know, this is seditious and stuff.
Right.
So I want to disagree with him. In as much as I'm impressed with the impressiveness of the UPND, I would disagree with him to say that, you know what, we are in a far worse place. I mean, the courts of law, the police are a good indicator. The police are failing to actually give permits. I can tell you for a fact that, you know, we were holding a press conference to launch WAZA on Friday. The police visited the premises to say we didn't get permit. How do you get permit, you know, to actually just have a press conference? Since when in this country should people be getting, you know, permits to hold press conferences? The police were at the venue. They even called, you know, the proprietor of the venue to say, why did you host this?
Right.
You know, so these are records that are there.
Right.
You know,
Thank
so
you
we
so
are in a
much.
worse place.
Thank you, President. Mr. Lungu, could you conclude on that?
Yes, let me conclude on that. So, in the first place, we believe very well that in a democracy, what matters most is the rule of law. Like, everything has to be done in line with what the law says. I would be very much concerned if the executive was sending people to jail. That was going to be our greatest concern. And if that is indeed, what that means that the courts are not doing their job.
Progress in democracy, we're not just talking about the executive. We're talking about all the arms of government and how they behave, on how they operate.
Yeah.
And the President Banda from WAZA, he tells us that a few days ago they had a launch of their alliance, and the police tried or attempted to intimidate them. Are you okay with that?
No.
That's got nothing to do with the president and his people. Maybe that's what I'm saying.
Remember, I indicated that we are moving, and we are still calling for the Public Order Act to be amended, which is complaining about. Okay, that law is not good in a democracy. I emphasize that law has to be done away with. Maybe that is the law that the police could have used if they did that to Oza, which is not right at all.
Right.
Now, I'm doing it in a comparative manner.
Yes, please.
Yes, in a comparatively speaking, I think I wouldn't agree that we are in a worse place than we were.
Right.
Okay? We are in a place where we can gather freely like this and do our TV interviews and the like, because of the fact that we have been allowed. This is a democracy.
When was the last time you witnessed police officers demanding for a permit when a political party wants to hold a presser?
Demanding for a permit?
Yes. When was
no.
the last time you witnessed such kind of scenes?
No. Of late, I haven't observed that. Maybe
did you witness that under PF?
Yes, quite a lot. I think.
Would you say just one incident?
There were a number of instances. There were actually quite a number of instances.
You can see President Hakainde Hichilema running through the roof.
In dollars. Just like Honorable when there was manhandle.
There were instances where us from the civil society organizations, some members of the civil society organizations could only manage to hold meetings in the bush. We remember that. We are coming from the civil society organizations. We have instances where some members of the civil society organizations who went to picket at the parliament were arrested. We are coming from that. So that's why I'm indicating to say, today, it would be very, very disappointing. Now, I'm not saying anything that happened in PF, if it is happening now, then it is right. I can't agree with that.
Right.
If it was wrong in the PF, it is still wrong now.
Right.
So we are not going to say, since this happened in the PF, it was wrong, now it is right. So that's why we are saying, can we ensure, and that is one of the reasons why we are backing the amendment of the law, because that's one of the things that will help us to improve our democracy.
Thank you so much. Let's hear, before Mr. Nakuka comes in, let's hear from our President.
I want to agree with Mr. Lungu.
Right.
That what was wrong then, it is still wrong now. But what we have seen is a surge upwards in these things happening. For example, there are issues to do with the that seditious law that has been pronounced by the UPND. How many people have been from the opposition? How many people have been put in cells, in prison? How many? But when you even this Cyber Security Act, when you look at on the side of the UPND, who has been arrested? Even when we have videos, we have evidence, it is there. They are seeing, including what my colleague President said about manhandling Honorable Given Luwinda. Just recently, the PF Secretariat. I think that these are things that we need to do away with. And we have proposals, to the Zambian people on how we intend to deal with these issues. We have brought out a lot of proposals to the UPND, even when we are speaking, in the opposition. But they don't listen. And I can tell you that they don't listen. These people are just bent on wanting to do that which favors just the small clique, not the Zambian people. I can tell you that.
It's quite strong there.
Yeah, no. We have to say it so that they can start learning to listen. Because even this issue of, agriculture, I know that we can touch on these issues because we're talking about governance. I think that we have been singing from day one on issues to do with agriculture up to today.
You want to praise for bumper harvest?
You see, this country.
I can praise you
for the bumper harvest.
No. I can,
it is the
I
people
can
of Zambia for issues to do with the bumper harvest. It is the people of Zambia, because yourselves have not been taking the inputs on time. even up to today. The issues to do with people getting paid for their produce that they took to FRA. Surely.
Why haven't you paid?
Those are real issues, and we have to be sincere about these things.
Right.
Okay.
So these issues of the law and looking at the way things are now, it is tense out there.
Wow.
All right. Thank you very much, IP. Your question was, how is the democratic state of democracy in Zambia now?
However, I wanted to hold on to you because...
Okay, that's fine. I can wait.
Yes.
And you will praise them.
You will praise them?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. So, really, I want to collect the concerns coming from President Banda. We also have Mr. Lungu, who did mention that in as much as we have, as a country, we seem to have progressed a bit in our democratic, dispensation. We can do far much better than what we're doing today. That's what
Thank you for
right?
Thank you for quoting me correctly.
That's what you say. Thank you so much. For President Kunda, Zawapa, for him, he says, oh, it's hot there.
It's tense out there. Not just hot.
Right. So I want us to, what has struck my mind is that you are being accused that you are gagging members of the public, you are being restricted and stuff like that. You are not accommodative to divergent views. You'd want to only listen to yourselves and a small clique of individuals around your clan as Upnd. So I would want us to watch these two videos of someone coming from the CSOs and of course how they have reacted to the governance of this country. Let's watch these two videos. All right, so we are going to have some two clips there in that regards, so that we can try to understand. There's two important videos that I would want us to watch together with the viewers, so that later on you have a reaction, Mr. Anakoka, Member of Parliament for Luwena, as well as President Howard Kunda from Zawapa, President Banda from People's Alliance for Change. We also have Mr. Lungu coming from the Gears Initiative. And later on, I should be able to open up the phone line to hear what people have in their minds. Let's watch the two videos.
I think allow me to observe protocol in order of hierarchy, because I don't know how the ranking is. Fellow mourners, I stand here to represent Zambia National Women's Lobby. When Zambia National Women's Lobby heard of Mapenzi's fate, we issued a statement. But I thought I could be here to mourn with you as a woman, and especially that my organization goes round to follow the young girls in their schools, in their homes, to ask them to participate in the leadership of this nation. To us as Zambia National Women's Lobby, this is a very big loss, because we could have counted on Mapenzi as one of the girls that would have been a leader that we are trying to prop up. May our soul rest in peace. I was wondering how brutal the police could have been to take away a life of a girl born in 1994. She was still very young. And as a parent, as a mother who has been to the labor ward to bring a life on earth, to hear and see a casket lying before me of a girl of 22, it breaks my heart. It's very, very saddening and saddening indeed. I will not have too much to say, but I think I have a few appeals to make. The first one will go to the law agencies. I think I want to make an appeal that as they implement, as they carry out their duties, I think let them be fair and professional. I think what we have seen as Zambia National Women's Lobby is that in this instance, the police lacked professionalism. If they were professional, they were not going to pursue someone who was not armed with a gun, and not just a gun, with a bullet in it, aiming to kill. Another appeal I want to make will go to the political parties. Please allow the women to participate in the development. And when it is a media fight, everyone wants to win. We wanted to win, they wanted to win, so it wasn't a good thing. And we are happy that you invited us to come here. We are grateful for that invitation. But allow me, Mr. President, to be very, very candid on the reason why we are here. We wanted to be here for a celebration and not what we are here for. The people of Zambia, I'm very sure, would have loved us to come here to bring thanks and gratitude for your delivery on the promises that we as people of Zambia expected. But we are here to discuss the amendment of the Constitution, which is supposed to be a very straightforward issue. Much as we are saying that the amendment of the Constitution brings issues, but I think if process and content is followed from the word go, I don't think any of the citizens of Zambia would have reason to raise questions, especially us as women, because there were issues, or there are issues in the Bill 7 that pertain to inclusion in the Constitution, in the amendment. But for us to come back to you and sit in this manner, or go to the media, go to the public and speak in the manner that we are speaking, Mr. President, there is something that is not adding up, and we thought we could just have it corrected before we can proceed. There is something that needs to be corrected. Process of the Constitution amendment must be a process of the Constitution amendment, and that is what has worried us. There are a number of issues, Mr. President, maybe that we could have wanted to be discussing here.
All right, so we are in the 9 minutes of the program. This is the bigger program right on KBN TV from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. Now, I did play those 2 videos, gentlemen, for you to just pick something from the leaders from the CSOs and how, of course, things seem to have turned out. Now, I will read this story. There is a story, and this will be centered on the role which the Oasis Forum has played in this country. We all know who the Oasis Forum is, unless someone is not privy to that. Thank you. So there is a statement here which says, which I read in parts, government to treat Oasis Forum as a political opponent. That's according to Mr. Levi Ngoma. The statement reads further, President Hakainde as a political advisor, Levi Ngoma says government will treat the Oasis Forum like a political party opponent because it has shown that she wants a change of government. On Thursday last week, the Oasis Forum advised the opposition to choose a leader amongst themselves whom they would all support, cautioning that having many candidates on the ballot would split the votes. In response to these remarks, in an interview on Friday, Ngoma accused the Oasis Forum of looking for the opposition, opposition to form government. They are looking for the opposition to form government. That's what they have they've been wanting all this time. That's what it is. It's very clear what their intentions are. You can run, but you can't hide. This according to the Must newspaper. So let's begin from there, Mr. Nakoka, as you come in.
Yes.
You've seen that's Madam Beauty Katebe, the chairperson for this forum. She's been around for quite a while. Yes or no?
Yes, she's been.
Yes. So the question is, would you agree to what Mr. Levingoma issued or authored in that statement, that your government, the UPND, you would want to treat her and the WASIS Forum as a political organization?
Thank you very much, IP. Let me, if you allow me, respond to the question of improvement or otherwise in the governance of the nation. By again just referring to the clip that was played there,
Right.
where the NGOCC was paying tribute to Mapenzi Chivolo. Mapenzi Chivolo is one of the many young people of this country that lost their lives as a result of the brutality. And it was all brutality that was related to the fear of losing power. The people are exercising their democratic rights. The police were coming out with guns under the guidance of the leadership, political leadership then. Clearly, we are not in that same space now.
Right.
Just this same discussion on Bill 7, if you compare with just what transpired during the Bill 10 discussions, I was at a public discussion here at, I think, the former Intercontinental Hotel, which was disrupted by PF cadres. Just people expressing their views on why Bill 10 should not be supported.
Not that your government, you are also heading towards that, because looking at the signs, I will ask you a question that why do you want to treat the WASIS Forum
Coming to that,
as
I'm
a
coming to
political
that.
organization?
I'm coming to that.
Perhaps maybe
Absolutely.
you are also embarking on that journey.
Well,
Of the bad script of the PF.
I'm
as you have mentioned.
coming to
I'm
that.
quoting your words.
Right now, there are all these debates about Bill 7. The opposition, I think even as late as today, they gathered somewhere and issued a statement.
Right.
They are freely expressing their opinions. Sometimes when you see those members of parliament actually making some of those statements, some of them are made actually right on parliament grounds at the media center. No one is interfering with them enjoying the new democratic space, which they never afforded others. Stories of how, as UPND, every by-election was a battle zone need not be repeated. Who has forgotten what happened in Sesheke? Who has forgotten how the president, the current Republican president, was just around in the bush? He had to cover long distances because he was being hunted down. So I think that conversation is one that no one who is genuine about the growth of democratic practices in this country would even want 2% of what we came from to come back.
My question
So
is about
now let's come to
my question is about the,
Oasis.
the hypocrisy
Yes.
coming from your government. Oasis Forum through Madam Beauty Kate, but then she was Zambia Women's Lobby chairperson. She spoke on your behalf. She spoke to prevent your rights as UPND. Mapenzi Chivolo was one of the students who was actually shot at by the police
Yes.
within the Windsor grounds. And she went to speak at a place which was heavily guarded by the Zambia police, but she condemned the PF at the time. So why is the hypocrisy, and why do you want to treat that woman as a politician?
And,
We don't see, we
because I
don't,
was
we
in that
don't,
meeting.
we don't, we think it's a mischaracterization of the situation to say there is hypocrisy. As UPND, we are very, very loyal to principles, but not to individuals. If you are loyal to an individual, you will stick with them even when they lose direction. In this case, what the political advisor of the president said was not anchored on UPND just choosing to say, because we don't like what you are saying. She had already said, expressed her opinion at State House. The president opened the doors and says, let's discuss. And the conversations were supposed to continue. But from State House, either the same day or a day later, she went into that other gathering.
Was that wrong?
Well, having conversations with other people is not wrong. But she declared herself that she is opposition to UPND. She said she wants a change of government.
Just hold on. Should I play that video?
No, I was in that meeting.
Yes.
I was in that
meeting. No, at least President Banda, you were there. But
yes.
The viewers who are not there together with me, we can play the video to confirm whether she declared that she's...
No, just what you read. You can play it. But what you read was that they should look for an alternative, a single candidate.
Yes.
Who they will rally around. She advised them.
Advised that,
yes. And she said, who we will support, isn't it?
Politician?
No, she said, who we will support. Now, that is supporting against UPND as a party, not even against a specific principle on which we are differing.
Okay.
So, if that is her position, we are justified as UPND to say, okay, you are now in the same camp with those whose primary objective, and they admitted it is part of the democracy.
So you are convinced, fully convinced as UPND that she is indeed a political opponent. And this is a woman who has been around, even the time of Mwanawas, she's been around. Why should she be intimidated today under your administration?
No, it's not intimidation. Look, you have taken a political position which is actually electorally related. To say that during next year's elections, you people here must organize yourself so that you can defeat those people.
Okay, so
that's a specific position.
Opposition.
How
to render advice?
So how do we take such a person to come and discuss with us also?
Right.
Okay.
That's what I understand.
How do we take? No, we can't.
Let me.
Mr. Lungodon, let's hear from Mr. Banda. Then I come to you. Quickly, Mr. Banda, we need to...
Yeah, I want to come in because when that video, when Madam Bitika Katebe made those sentiments, I was in that meeting at the NGOCC headquarters. It's very disappointing, that you are playing in the same playbook that, previous governments have played into. You see, this constitutional amendment...
No, tell us what she said. You've just come from the meeting, you're jumping from there.
Just relax. Just relax, my brother.
Let's move to what happened in that meeting. What did she say?
Just relax. This constitution amendment issue, if the opposition had been united, it would have been handled better. You understand what I mean? This is the reason why in 2018, around November, President HH came to my house and said, let's unite so that we work together around the constitution amendment. Right. So the advice did not come from a perspective to say, no, now I'm supporting the opposition. The advice came from strengthening the democracy because the opposition is fragmented. Right. Do you understand? Now, because people are so insecure about their positions, they want to just jump into conclusions and say, no, we're going to treat her as an opposition. Democracy is health, and everyone must actually champion it. Even the UPND themselves, don't they always say, no, there's no opposition. This is not health for democracy. They are the same ones that, sing. So should people who say that be treated, say, no, you are not part of UPND. So the words that Madam Bitika made that day were taken out of context. The issue is about democracy. It's about how, a united opposition could have helped, in these issues of the Bill 7. It was not because, no, I'm supporting you as opposition, and we want the UPND to come out.
Right.
Those words are coming out of insecurity.
Thank you so much. Let's hear from Mr. Lungu quickly.
Thank you so very much. Let me be very categorical to indicate that it is not right for the Special Assistant to the President to regard Madam Bitika Katebe as a political opponent. Right. It is not right. In fact, if he was rightly quoted, I'm making an appeal that it would be better if he reversed those words. An attack on a civil society is not something that would support as a civil society. That is not right. It must be condemned. Let us accept Madam Bitika Katebe as someone who is presenting an alternative position in this democratic position. So I think it is not right to regard her as a political opponent. Can we regard her as one of those civil society organizations that are simply presenting a view that the organization feels is right? So it wouldn't be appropriate.
Which view is that?
Regard that as
I think
He's asking you
Which view is that?
So
Which view is that?
The view on view 7.
In this case,
No. The view was.
in this case,
I
so
think
from the
The
civil
view
from where we
was.
stand,
Let's have a candidate that can
I'll
beat
end
Hakainde
it
in
from
elections.
Is that what
so
she said?
from where we stand,
That's the view.
No, is that what she said?
from where we stand, anyway, politicians have a way of politicking. We understand that politicians have a way of politicking, and we allow them to politic. But our request is that please give the space to us in the civil society organizations to do our work as civil society organizations, and never ever regard any one of us as a political opponent,
Right.
but as those people that are providing guidance to the political space.
Okay, let's hear from our president.
I think that first of all, I want to agree with Mr. Lungu on what he has said. It is very important, and I know that my brother, Honorable Anakoka, I'm sure at the back of his mind, he knows that is wrong, and it should be in fact retracted, because this is a person who has been there even for them, agreeing with them. Does it mean that the time that she agreed with them, it meant that she was part of the UPND? I think the answer is no, from what we have seen, that even with the PF, she did exactly what she has been doing now, because obviously there are issues on the constitution, the process has not been followed, the content, there are issues. So she's just being consistent and following what the people of Zambia expect her to do as the civil society, to stand in for them.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Allow me just to pick up 2 calls. There's some calls which have been coming through. Then we'll wind up the program. We've got Honorable Chimbaka Mbwili online. Good evening, Honorable, and welcome to the bigger debate.
Good evening, ID, and good evening, panelists there. My younger brother, Mayele, it's nice to see you there. My brother, Lungu, and my
I'll give you a minute, Honorable.
This country as a better place for everybody to live. Let's be honest. Yeah. Have you read Article 57 of the Zambian Constitution on the delimitation? It is very instructive. It says when the Electoral Commission of Zambia submits the delimitation report to the president, within 60 days, the president must gazette the reports. And after gazetting the reports, he should table it in Parliament. You cannot table the delimitation report before gazetting it. And you cannot start considering constitutional amendments of a delimitation report before it is gazetted and presented to Parliament. So what is happening now is totally illegal. That delimitation report has not been gazetted. The president has not presented it before Parliament. In fact, tomorrow I am going to the Constitution Court to make a petition that the issue pertaining to delimitation must be expunged from the Constitution process, amendment process, because due process as provided for under Article 57 has not been done. So you might know
There's no such thing under 57.
from Gears. We know that Gears has been supporting you.
Remind him that there's no such thing under 57.
Was appointed on the electoral
57 is dealing with by-election.
That's
an
Honorable
accusation.
Kambwili. those allegations, are you able to substantiate those allegations?
Able to substantiate.
Please do, please do.
Can you read Article 57?
He's talking.
All articles by McDonald Shipenzi. There's never been a time when he has disagreed with the MMD, with the UPND, whether in opposition or even now. So, the provision in Article 57 of the Constitution is very instructive. The President, after receiving the delimitation report, must gazette it. After gazetting, that's when the table is before Parliament.
Right.
So you cannot table the delimitation report in Parliament without gazetting it.
Okay.
So what is happening in Parliament is illegal. Read, if you have got the Constitution there, I challenge you go to Article 57.
It's here. Please read for me.
We have it actually with the Honorable here.
Talk about something else.
Yeah, so
Talking about by-elections.
Article 57, and read it.
Okay, so quickly let me go to Article 57.
It's very instructive.
Where's 57
See,
here?
it's here.
Right.
Okay, Honorable, all right, I thought I could read before you go so that we correct the myths of the issues around.
Can you still read it?
Honorable, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. So 57 what?
Article 57. Read the entire Article 57.
Okay, so 57, I'll start with 57.1. What says, where a vacance occurs in the office of the Member of Parliament, Mayor, Council Chairperson or Councillor, a by-election shall be held within 90 days of the occurrence of the vacancy. On 2, it says a by-election shall not be held within the...
No. Check on the delimitation. The issue of delimitation.
Okay.
So it's
That's
not
Article
Article 57 as you said.
Let me give you the actual.
It's Article 58. We can help him.
Okay, thank you.
Delimitation.
All right, thank you so much.
I must have missed the article.
All right.
But delimitation.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable. We leave it there. You can call me back where possible. All right, let's see. Okay, that's interesting. That's a comment coming from Honorable Chimba Kambwe, former Member of Parliament, coming from, of course, the Opposition Party Fund. I'm trying to just get another. Okay, maybe quickly, your closing remarks. I wanted just to get another call which has been bothering me a lot. Your closing remarks within, okay, this caller is back again. Caller, good evening. Welcome to the bigger program. You've got 2 minutes to submit. We've got the UPND Media Director in Mr. Max Moe. Good evening to you, MD.
Thank you very much, Innocent. Good evening.
Good evening to you, and please contribute. Go ahead with the contribution.
Thank you very much, and good evening to all the discussants.
Good evening, Director.
So I want to start on a very clear note. I'll be very quick because I'm not one of the discussants, but I'm contributing, making use of the time that I have. I want to tell you also what deal with the specific issues that have been raised by my brother Howard Kund and the banner there. The first thing that I want to deal with is first of all to clear the notion on why UPND never supported U10. First of all, to amend the Constitution, they arose out of the arrest of the President, and Patricia Scotland made specific propositions on the need to undertake specific amendments. Among the issues that needed to be looked at was the electoral process, especially leading to the presidential petition. And there was a recommendation that if this process had to be undertaken, at least it should be presided over by certain independent bodies. Mr. Banda may recall that there was a meeting in Siabonga where all political players sent their representatives there. The UPND sent over there, among other people there. It was agreed upon on fundamental issues that needed to be included in the amendments. Now, the whole process started very well. And one of the things that we agreed upon that was that the process needed to be spearheaded by the three church mother bodies. That was the starting point. Unfortunately, the three church mother bodies were knocked out of the equation. and the details and content that were contentious at that time were removed from the document. What did we see? What we saw later was them coming up with some piece of legislation under the dialogue forum, which even criminalized members of parliament that stayed away from the process. They needed to be locked up. The document is there for all those that are following us live online, and you'll find it. The next thing that I want to bring out, what were the issues that added to that process? I'm borrowing the words of President Banda. He mentioned the process. Yes, the process was one of them, and not the only thing. The second thing was that you can propose, among other issues, to bring back deputy ministers, even when we know that deputy ministers were not sitting in the cabinet. Whenever the minister was not there, you get another minister from the other ministry to act. So we thought the removal was as a result of the waste of resources. The next point that I want to bring out was that the intent sought to make an amendment to Article 189. 2, which provides that when a person retires from public office in government, they're supposed to be retained on the payroll until such a time that they are paid their bills. They wanted to repeal that. The next thing that they wanted to do was to give the president and special powers to merge, divide, or create provinces without parliamentary approval. Right now, it is required that when undertaking such activities, Parliament must ratify. The next thing that they wanted to do was to amend Article 124 and 127 to remove the maximum number of judges and relegate the power to decide how many judges should sit at the court to the National Assembly or Parliament from the Supreme Law of the land. Other things that the UPND was opposed to was that they wanted to remove corruption by abolishing service commissions, which play an oversight role through delegated legislation. The other issue that is of critical concern was that they wanted to repeal the law so that when contracting loans, because the current constitution requires that when government is contracting a public state, Parliament must ratify. So that the executive go ahead and borrow money without Parliament approving.
Right.
The next thing that they wanted to do, that by the way, Article 63(2).
You may conclude. You may conclude. You may conclude just now.
Article 63(2) of the Constitution of Zambia was meant to be abolished. I'm winding up. Just a minute, because I want to just take away what looks like deception for President Banda. When he accepted that, because he always UPND, when he accepted that because he was president, therefore he knew all the grounds. The next point that I want to bring out is that the chairmanship, ascension to the chairmanship of the House of Chiefs in the Constitution under Article 169 is by way of rotation. It's rotational. But what they were proposing instead was that they abolish Article, they amend Article 169 so that getting to the chairmanship of the House of Chiefs was supposed to be subjected to an open election.
Right.
And they introduced one of the most dangerous processes.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Think he can come and
You can come to the panel.
Thank you so much, MD. Thank you so much, Director. We have to close. Time is not on our side. Thank you.
I'm hoping that the program, when I'm back, we have to be part of the conversation of this particular program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you as well. All right, gentlemen, we have to wind up. I thought we could pick up these two important calls, just like all other calls are important. But of course, these are some of the stakeholders, so I thought I would balance. Coming from the opposition, Honorable Chishimba Kambui, we appreciate you and your contribution, as well as Mr. Maki Smoe. Quickly, within 5 seconds, if you can, your closing remarks.
5 will not be possible.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
we'll call for another second round of the debate.
Yes.
Let's close it.
Now, I think it is a time for me to start this. all the problems that we are facing as a country is because we have deposited power in one person, the presidency, in one office, appointing everyone, and expect that we are going to have a free society where the police, will act independently. I think that it will be no. The issues to do with the judiciary, parliament itself, where my brother is coming from, where I have been, I think that it is important for us to deal with those issues. And the Zambia Wake Up Party is that party that has undertaken to tell the Zambian people exactly what we intend to do. And in fact, we should be inviting you very soon, where we are going to launch on how we intend to run the affairs of the nation. We are not scared of removing power, because power belongs to the people.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much, President Kunda, for that submission. Let me also get your closing remarks, Honorable Anakoka.
So thank you very much.
I hope you can do it within a minute as well.
I certainly will. Yeah. I will follow his lead.
Yes, please.
I want to thank Media Director Max Mwe for calling in and adding to the list of the things that were problematic in Bill 10. Now, having said that, Bill 10 went through all the way, was processed through parliament processes until it was defeated on the floor of the House. Because Article 79 empowers Parliament to do just what it did for Bill 10. And so, calls for people to stop others from even engaging in a debate on Bill 7 are undemocratic. Let the democratic process unfold through the People's House. Parliament is the only house that has got a representative from every constituency in this country as we speak.
Right.
So I think people should not fall into this scaremongering that is going on, that there are things that are being hidden. Right. There is something that the UPND wants to do which is not telling the people. None of that. Let them just be patient. When this bill is finally presented on the floor of the House for the second reading and is debated, your representatives, through your voices, will cast their vote either for or against. Right. And as far as we are concerned, this bill has got good intentions, and all those that mean well for the country must support it.
Thank you so much. That's Honorable Anakoka there. Let's have from Mr. Lungu within or less than a minute.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. And appeal to the Zambian people that the politicians will always politic. And let's appreciate that fact. The work of politicians is to politic, and they always politic because they always disagree. But there is a stage at which we as citizens also need to stand. In this case, I'm emphasizing on the need for constitution amendment, which we have been pushing for as civil society organizations. We are calling on members of parliament, especially those that mean well for the nation, that can you please help us to have this constitution amended so that we can move on to the next stage of our nation. We cannot afford to continue having that number of women in parliament. It's retrogressive. We cannot afford to not having a person with a disability. We cannot afford to be cancelling elections every time there is someone who actually withdraws. Right. So we are appealing to members of parliament, please let's have this constitution amended so that we can have our democracy strengthened.
Right. Thank you so much. That's Mr. Lungu. Let's hear from President Banda as well as we conclude.
No, thank you very much. I won't follow the lead because I need to just respond to my brother Mark. Just one or two. No, it won't take time. Don't worry.
Apparently, you don't have enough time.
Okay. Thank you so much, Max Mwe, for calling in. Basically, my brother, the issue about Bill 10 and the UPND not being part of it was the issue of the process. Like you've said, you've reported. I was in those meetings, where there was a demand from us in the opposition to have the three church member bodies to preside over this. And the fact that the PF refused, to put this, it means that the process that they wanted to undertake, was not the correct one. And that is what made us not to actually go ahead. When the talks about the process broke down, quickly and in a very hurried way, the PF actually, created, the National Dialogue, was it the National Dialogue Bill, which created the National Dialogue Forum. By that time they had already proposed these things to do with, deputy ministers and many other, awkward issues. By then the UPND had, said we're not going to be part of this. So in as much as all of us disagreed with certain proposals, we had already said we're not going to be part of it because of what? The process. Now the difference between the National Dialogue Forum and the PF is that they gave us an opportunity, to discuss as the opposition, to actually let's agree on the process. Let's do this and this and that. They also went ahead to go to the National Dialogue Forum, where even the issue of the deputy ministers was removed, if you remember very well, at the National Dialogue Forum. The question that I have for you, Mark and the UPND, is that have you given us that opportunity to actually sit with you, to agree, even just to try and agree, even if you're pretending, to just try and agree on the process on how this bill has come through? Nothing. So if you look at it critically, you find that actually the PF's process was far much better than what we're talking about here. Because this process that you've introduced, that you took to Parliament, it just came from the executive. It didn't come from discussing with anyone. So it is very wrong, and what is happening is not the way to change a constitution. And the last point, IP, is that I would like to appeal to the members of Parliament, including my good friend, he's a very good friend of mine, by the way, Anakoka, to say, let's look at the future of this country. Let's not look at, the immediate things, or because we're scared of somebody or we're scared of the system. Let's imagine a time when we are not in government. Is this something that we can support? Because most of us, we like to be comfortable and think that we will always be there. But also, let's think about a time when we're not there. Are these the things that we can support? I would like to appeal especially to the opposition MPs to think thoroughly and make sure that you come out big for the people of Zambia. I thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you so much, President Banda, for that submission.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, this marks the end of our conversation this evening on the bigger debates right here on KBN TV from Zambia's capital city, Lusaka. With me, IP again. We're back next week with another episode as we continue having these discussions that pertains to our governance over the country. Thank you so much. May God bless Zambia. May God bless Mother Africa. Good night.